Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today I am talking about traveling on a budget. So saving is one thing, but if you want to travel long term or for long periods of time or more often, traveling cheap is going to help so much. Today I have 15 tips for you guys. I myself am full-time budget traveler. I pretty much never not travel budget. I am all about the budget. So I am going to tell you all the things that I do to budget travel. Here you go.
So I unexpectedly fell into the life of a nomad. I've been traveling the world full-time on a budget and doing it solo. I want to share with you everything that I've learned along the way. So join me every Tuesday for tips, tricks and recommendations.
Be flexible. The great thing with flexibility is it can actually save you quite a bit of money, especially when it comes to flights. If you can pick your flight based on the cheapest date and the cheapest time, you can save hundreds of dollars. If you're flexible, you even have the option to travel to cheaper destinations, which is gonna save you a lot of money. Cook your own food as much as possible. Eating out can be a part of the cultural experience, but you don't need to eat out for every single meal. You can eat out a couple of times. Make sure you try the cuisine and some of the dishes that are from that location, but you don't need to be eating out every meal. You can save so much money by cooking your food. Also, extra points if you can find a hostel that includes free breakfast. That leads me to staying in hostels, especially in dorm rooms. This is going to save you a lot of money compared to staying in Airbnbs or even hotels. If you're traveling in a group, yes, Airbnbs can be cheaper, but if you are a solo traveler or even in a couple, it is going to be your cheapest option to stay in hostels and dorm rooms. Another accommodation option is to stay in couch surfing. So couch surfing can seem a little bit scary, but if you do it right, it can be safe. And it is going to save you probably the most money that you can save. It is going to give you a local's insight, but also free accommodation for the night. Now this one you're not gonna like, but limiting alcohol consumption is going to save you so much money, especially when you're traveling. Drinking is a huge thing that everyone does all the time. But like I mentioned in my how to save video, which I'll link for you, and I'll also put in the description below, you need to limit the amount you drink and also drink smart. So pre-drink before you go out instead of buying so many drinks out, but be reasonable with how much you're drinking, because a lot of the time when people travel, this is where so much of their money goes. Next is catching public transport. Public transport is your cheapest option for travel. It can sometimes take a little bit longer. Sometimes as well you need to take the longer route to get somewhere, but you can save a whole lot of money. For example, catching long buses instead of catching flights, or catching long trains instead of catching flights. Doing this can save you hundreds of dollars. It may take a little bit longer, but your bank is going to be better off. I also have my public transport video, so if you are hesitant about public transport or you want to know some tips and recommendations that I have for public transport, I'll link that movie down below as well. Travel slower. This one can seem a little bit weird, but the faster you travel, the more transport you're having to catch. Also, the harder it is to prepare your food as well. So if you stay in a location for longer, there's less buses, trains and things that you're having to catch, which is more expensive. But also, it can be hard to cook for yourself when you're moving so often, because generally when you buy food, especially if you're a solo traveler, you can't really buy food for one meal. It's generally going to cook for at least 2 meals. So if you stay in locations for longer, you can eat better food that you cook for yourself. You can cook yourself food and save loads of money on transport. Free walking tours. If you want to explore the city cheap and you want the opportunity to meet people, free walking tours are amazing. Now, remember, they're not actually free. You do have to leave a tip, although you don't have to, but come on, common courtesy is to leave something. Really, it only has to be $5, but that's something that's super cheap. It takes up a couple of hours of your day. You're learning history, you're learning about the city, and you're meeting people, so it's well worth the money and is really affordable. Free audio guides. So there are apps where you can actually get free audio guides. So instead of taking tours or buying audio guides, you can actually download apps which will give you free walking tours or free tours that have the audio guide that you just follow as you walk around wherever you may be. This is a great one that I didn't learn about until too late in my travels, and I wish I knew about it earlier, but now that I do, it's amazing. Research. This one is not one of my strong suits, as you all may know, but research can actually save you a lot of money. The more you research, the more you're going to find better deals, better prices, which in turn can save you a fair bit of money. Planning in advance, which is another thing that I'm not good at, but if you can plan way in advance, sometimes like a year in advance, sometimes you can get incredible deals. So plane tickets, bus tickets, just everything really. They can be quite a bit cheaper really far in advance compared to closer to. Walking. Believe it or not, you can actually use these legs of yours and walk places instead of catching every single train and bus. If you're in a location where you are half an hour, 40 minutes walking from places that you want to see, just walk instead of catching the bus. Yes, it can be tiring, but you're gonna burn more calories and save more money. Fly with budget airlines. Some people can be a little bit fussy and they won't fly with Jetstar, won't fly with Tiger, whatever. But if you want to save money, fly the cheapest flight that you can find, which is generally going to be the budget airlines. If you're a backpacker and you're trying to fly as cheap as possible, then you don't get the luxuries all the time. So just find the cheapest flight you can find. If you can fly with just carry-on, that is bonus points because that is going to save you loads and loads of money. So if you have that ability, do that as well. Stop shopping. Now this includes shoes, clothes, bags, souvenirs even. Stop shopping because that's spending more money that you don't have to. The great thing about when you're backpacking is generally you have a backpack and there's nowhere to put anything. So generally you don't shop. But if you do, stop shopping. And lucky last is volunteering in hostels in trade for accommodation. So if you have a little bit longer to travel for, then sometimes you can partner up with hostels, work for them for a month. They'll give you free accommodation for a month, even sometimes food. So you have to work a couple of hours a week. In turn, they give you accommodation, some food, which is going to save a large portion of what your spendings would be. So that is one of the greatest ways to save if you're traveling long term. If you've stayed tuned all the way to the end, I thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it was helpful and that you enjoyed. Let me know of any tips that you have that I haven't mentioned. Comment them down below. If you don't have any other tips, let me know which ones you found the most helpful. If you liked my video, make sure you hit subscribe so you can see more videos every week, and I'll see you guys then.